Hey guys, Clinisha here. I just wanted to do a really quick video and talk about what clean eating actually is and debunk a couple of myths for you that I'm sure all of you have heard at one point or another. So as I discussed in the welcome video, the definition of clean eating that we're going to use is eating foods in their most natural state. So it really just means removing a lot of processed foods from your diet. When you're in the grocery store, that's going to be you shopping the perimeter of the grocery store more than inside the aisles, because inside the aisles is where you find a lot of that processed food, has a lot of different additives and chemicals and things like that we're trying to remove from our diet. Okay, so like I said in the previous video, that's going to mean like a lot of your refined white flours, we're not going to be eating those things. So no white pasta, no white bread. We're not going to have any white rice. We won't have any white sugar. Anything with things like high fructose corn syrup in the ingredients, we're not going to have those things. We're going to try to avoid any of those extra chemicals. I want you to be really careful when you're at the grocery store and you pick up something that says low fat or sugar free. Look at the ingredients, because a lot of times when they take something out, something that's natural out, they'll put some chemicals back in so that it can still taste good. So I want you guys to pay special attention to those things. So let's just jump right in and talk about these 4 clean eating myths, and hopefully I can debunk them for you. So the first one I want to talk about is the fact that when you're eating clean, your food's not going to taste good. Now, I am somebody who really likes to eat. I really love food, and I really love it to taste good. Don't like it to be bland. So if that was the case, then girlfriend would not be eating clean at all. Spices are your friend. Spices are natural. You can use spices in your cooking. When I say removing processed items, I'm thinking like, let's say you're making stir fry and you pick up one of those stir fry sauces from the aisle. That's going to be full of chemicals and different additives that you want to stay away from. So those are the types of things that sauces and things like that you don't want to be using. But spices are your friend. It's okay to use some salt, pepper, whatever you like, it's okay. So use those things. Make your food taste good. I want you to enjoy eating. So hopefully that myth has been debunked very quickly. The second myth that I'm sure many of you heard is that you won't get full off of eating healthy food. Now, this is my favorite one, because in all honesty, you can eat more healthy food than unhealthy food. Think about portion control, because the real problem is that a lot of times when we're eating chips or eating in a restaurant, the portions that we eat are so huge. So yeah, we're gonna get full because we're eating way too much. But if you ate the right portion of that junk food, you wouldn't be full. If you ate 10 potato chips, that's not gonna do anything for you. But if you're eating the right portions of healthy foods, you're gonna be able to eat a lot more and you will be full, I promise you. When you guys see this menu, I know a lot of you are gonna come back to me and you're gonna say, Clinisha, I cannot eat this much food in a day. I promise you. At least one of you is gonna say that on day one. You guys will not believe how much food you can eat in a day when you're really focusing on eating healthier. So hopefully that myth has been debunked. Don't worry, I'm not gonna let you guys starve. The third clean eating myth that I do want to spend a little time on is the fact that clean eating is expensive. Yes, I think it can be, but it doesn't have to be. If you're in the store and you're buying everything organic, okay, yeah, you're gonna spend some money, but you can be really smart about it. For one thing, I try to shop by what's in season. So if you go to the store and you see that, they're having a sale on, a certain type of fruit or vegetables, try to plan your meals around those things. The weekly planner that comes from your local grocery store should be your best friend when it comes to planning meals. Take that out each week and look at what's going to be on sale and plan your meals around that. does not have to cost you a lot of money. Like I said in the welcome video, if there's something on that I have on the menu that you go to the store and it's expensive, do not get it. I don't want you guys spending a ton of money. Substitute it for something else, okay? That's not a problem. I also want you guys to know that frozen fruits and vegetables, as long as they have no added anything, a lot of times, some frozen fruits will have added sugar, but as long as they don't have anything added, you can get those things and they will be a lot cheaper to get in bigger sizes. So let's say we have, I feel I always just keep going back to green beans. I'm gonna make that for dinner. That's probably why. So let's say, you want to get green beans, but the fresh green beans are really expensive. Go check out the freezer aisle. As long as it says, the only ingredients are whole green beans, you're fine. Get those. That's definitely more economical. I definitely use a lot of frozen foods in my diet as well. Not a problem. Again, as long as it doesn't have any sort of additives in it, no chemicals, no sauces, nothing like that, you're 100% fine. So definitely do that. It's a lot cheaper. And then with fruit, I'm not going to have any smoothies on the menu, but that's always a really, a great breakfast. And a lot of times fresh fruit can be very expensive. So again, frozen fruit that doesn't have any sort of added sugar is perfect for that type of thing, okay? So don't be afraid of your frozen fruits and vegetables. Also, when it comes to getting meat, of course, you'd love to go for, the organic, natural varieties of your meat, but they can be really expensive. The one thing that I will say with meat, that's the one place I do splurge a little bit on, but again, it doesn't have to be the organic. Try to get, if you're getting chicken, try to get meat that doesn't have any, added hormones or antibiotics, things like that. Try to stay away from that stuff. But other than that, get what's economical, okay? So again, don't want to break the bank with this. You really don't have to. So that's clean eating myth number 3, hopefully debunked for you. So the last thing I want to talk about is the fact that clean eating is hard. And this one I'll give it a little credit because I think it can be hard to get used to in the beginning. It can be tough in the beginning, but once you kind of have your program and your plan in place, it just gets easier and easier every time, I promise you. So for those of you who kind of struggle with planning, I think you might struggle in the beginning when it comes to kind of transitioning to a cleaner diet, because it does require you to take a day and say, okay, these are the meals that I'm gonna make next week, Sunday to Saturday, whatever, Monday through Friday, however you plan. Some people do all their meal planning and prep one day, which is what I used to do, which is what I currently still do. And other people will do planning and prep a couple times a week, especially like when you have a family or more mouths to feed, food goes a lot faster. So you might do a couple days during the week. But, we'll focus this week on doing one day. I'm taking the planning out of this for you. I'm giving you the menu and the shopping list. You don't have to do any thinking. But when it comes to kind of doing it for yourself, you will have to get used to saying to yourself, okay, these will be my breakfasts for the next 5 days. This will be my lunches, my dinners. One queen lazy way to meal plan and prep is to eat the same thing every day. Those of you who have seen me in action and in the office when I used to work in offices, on Sundays I would cook one big meal for lunch and one big meal for dinner, and I would split that up across 5 containers for lunch and 5 containers for dinner. Call it a day. You're not gonna see me in the kitchen at all except to pop that mess in the microwave, okay? So that's the queen lazy way to do it. That's not how I'm doing this menu for us for these 5 days, only because I do know that a lot of people suffer from food fatigue, and if you're that type of person, I don't want to, make you eat the same thing over and over again. But for those of you who are extra lazy, that's always an option when you start to do this for yourself. But I do try to make things easier in these menus that I provide, and you know, this is kind of the alternate way to meal prep, by whatever planning, you know, whatever you eat for dinner, turning that into a lunch for the next day. So let's say one night we do a simple dinner of, you know, baked chicken breasts with roasted red potatoes and some broccoli. We'll have some extra chicken in there so that the next day your lunch can be maybe a salad, and you can use that same chicken, just cut it up onto the salad. Okay, so I try to make things easy in that respect. So again, it takes getting used to when transitioning your lifestyle, but the more you do it, the more consistent you are, the easier it'll be. So I promise it gets easier, and eventually it's going to be so much better, because you don't have to come home from work every day and think about, okay, what am I going to have for dinner tonight? You know, you don't have to remember every morning, oh, let me take the meat out of the freezer so that I can make such and such tonight. You know, you can come home from work and you can relax, because you either have your food made already, or it's prepped enough that all you have to do is throw everything in a pan and stick it in the oven or stick it on the stove. You know, make life easier for yourself. Give yourself more time to spend with your family, with your kids, with your significant other. You know what I'm saying? That's my whole goal here. One, okay, I admit it, I'm lazy and I just don't like to cook, especially when I work all day. But two, it's just more time you have to spend with your loved ones. That's another thing that's super, super important to me. And gives you just more time to do other things that you actually want to do, okay? So hopefully that's clean eating myth number 4 debunked for you. And those are really the basics of clean eating. We're not really gonna go any deeper than that. There's really not much deeper to go than that. It is very basic. It's just different. You know, it's something you're not used to. You know, it does make it hard in some respects, because you do have to pay attention to the ingredients in the things that you're eating. You'll realize how much of the food in your fridge and your pantry really isn't that clean and is pretty processed. But I mean, it's okay. Like, we're not overhauling habits overnight. You know, yes, I'm giving you this 100% clean eating menu for this week, but when you kind of step into this lifestyle change for yourself, take it easy. Don't feel like you have to throw every single thing away and start from scratch. If you want to do that, by all means, go ahead. But it can be expensive to do that, for one thing, because you kind of have to restock everything. But just as you finish things, I mean, say you have a bag of white rice in your pantry, finish it. It's fine. Just keep eating it. And then once you're done, next time you go to the store to restock on rice, maybe pick up some brown rice, you know? So it can be gradual. And we'll talk about that kind of as we get through the week. You know, like I said, I want to know what your impressions are every day, and kind of what you're feeling. And we can work together to kind of figure out, okay, after these 5 days, what's the program that's really going to work for you, you know? Because it's not going to be the same for everyone. Anyway, I can obviously get on my rambling, so let me just stop here. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out. Drop your questions in the group. Let everybody see them. And then, you know, everybody can benefit from the answers, okay? So, talk to you guys soon. Again, let me know if you have questions. Happy to answer them. See you later.